I'm so excited to share this 7-step system with you today. Like, you could tell by the smile on my face that I'm excited. And it's not just because I feel like I'm on top of the world, but there was a time in my life where I didn't have nothing to smile about. There was a time in my life when I was at ground zero and I never seen myself elevating beyond that. Now I make a nice 6-figure income, and I'm not saying this to impress you in any way. I want you to understand that no matter where you are in your life, no matter how you feel, no matter what you're going through, you can get to the next level, but you can't get there until you fill the gaps. Listen to me, man. I don't know where you are in your life, but what I understand is everything that you want is waiting for you. You just have to make the decision to get out of your own way. You have to stop letting your fears and doubts dictate your life. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, you masterminded your life single-handedly to where it is right now. Everything that you have, everything that you don't have is because of you, the person in the mirror. So all I want you to do is I want you to look at yourself, and I want you to be honest with yourself, and I want you to really come to terms and say, where I am is not where I want to be. If it is, then that's cool. You can turn this off right now. But what I'm going to share with you is the steps that I use to take me from that bottom to where I am, right? So the first thing that I need you to do is I need you to look at yourself. And I need you to come to terms with yourself and say, you know what? I'm no longer just going to live, but I'm going to live to dominate me. I'm going to dominate, and I say dominate you because until you dominate you, you can't dominate the world. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what's stopping me from moving forward? What's stopping you? And listen, when you come up with that small little piece, that small thing, like for instance, when I first said to myself, I said, Pierre, let's be honest, what's stopping you? What's stopping you from moving forward? And I was like, man, you ain't got no money. You ain't got no money in your pocket. How you gonna move forward? You don't have any money. And I'm like, man, everybody says that. Everybody says, I don't have money and I can't do this and I can't do that. I said, Pierre, what are the things that you can do with no money? What are the things you can do with absolutely no money that will help you to get in a position where you can move yourself forward? And I said, man, first thing you could do is you can start to read. Reading is free. You can start learning how to read. You can start picking up everything you can that's based on what you want to do. So first once I said that, right? Once I said based on what I want to do, I had to figure out what it is I wanted to do. And I said, okay, yep, I want to be an entrepreneur. I said, I want to start a company. I didn't know what business I wanted, but I started to read and talk to everybody that I could about entrepreneurship. I started to read everything that I could about business. Why? Because if that's what I wanted to do, that's what I needed to be reading. That's what I needed to be studying. It wasn't the money, because if I got the money, what was I going to do with the money? Then I was going to start to study. I had a reading problem. I had to learn to read so I can comprehend what was going on. You get the money, you just going to hold it. You're going to hold it and you're going to spend a little bit here. You're going to spend a little bit there. And before you know it, the money is gone. So I said to myself, Pierre, the problem isn't that you don't have money. The problem is you wouldn't even know what to do with the money if you got it. So let's start with that. Let's start learning. Let's start reading. But then I said to myself, Pierre, how you going to start reading? You can't even read. You got a reading problem. I said, okay, cool. You can read by yourself. You don't have to read with people. You can sit there by yourself. You can sit there in a corner. You can sit there anywhere you want, right? And you can read by yourself and nobody knows you got that problem but you. So now I'm sitting there and I'm reading and I'm like, I don't know what that word is. So I would read past the word, right? And I'm being transparent with you because I need you to understand how I had to really learn to dominate me. And I'm just being open. Everybody got faults and you keep hiding your faults. And because you're hiding your faults, you're not able to deal with them. You're trying to hide them from somebody and you suppressing it from yourself. So when I'm sitting and I'm reading, then I will skip the word and I'll finish reading the paragraph, but I can come back to the word and say, oh, that's what that word is. Because I read the paragraph, it can only be a few different words, right? So I'm like, got it. That's what the word is. Or I would pick up the dictionary and I would open the dictionary. This is before cell phones, right? We couldn't just get on the cell phone and do it. Now it's in the palm of your hand. Siri, can you say, what's that word, right? And you could spell it and she's going to tell you what the word is. So I started to eliminate everything that was standing in my way because I knew these were the things that would stop me. So one by one, I started to eliminate them. And when I started to get better, my confidence went up. When my confidence went up, my confidence went up, my confidence went up. I'm telling you, when you just understand what's stopping you and you deal with it, you start to create a level of confidence, and your confidence starts to, and you start to get these wins. And when you get these wins, it does something different for you. It makes you look for the next win. But when you don't know what's stopping you from moving forward, and you're just going and going and going, and you keep crashing, boom, and you go and you crash, then what happens is you're like, you know what, I don't even want to go no more, because every time I get something done, something else knocks me down. So once you identify what it is that's stopping you from moving forward, I want you to deal with it. I don't care how small it might seem. I want you to deal with it, because you are the root of all the problems in your life. You are the root cause. It all starts with you, right? From a mindset to spiritual to physical, it starts with you. So I want you to deal with that, right? The next thing that I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, do you really want it? Do you really want what you say you want? And why? So I said to myself, I said, Pierre, yep, I want to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know why. It just sounded cool. I'm like, I don't have to have a boss. Okay, cool. But you do have a boss. The boss is the customers. The boss are the clients that you work with. So you're not completely boss free. Can you do what you want? Yep, you can run off and do whatever you want. But I learned real fast that you lose your business, you lose your clients, and business will crumble, right? So I had to look at myself and I had to ask myself, Pierre, like, do you truly want what you say you want? And I'm like, yep, I want it. But the next thing you got to ask yourself is why? Because we're always going to say, yes, I want it. But why do you want it? Because if I don't tie it into something, if I don't tie what I want to something on why, then that means I'm giving myself an out. The minute it gets tough, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this, right? I don't want to do this. But when I say, yep, I truly want this. And I want it because I want my kids to grow up where they don't have to hear gunshots. I want my kids to be able to go to school where they're not selling drugs in school. I want my kids to be able to go to school where they can walk out in the neighborhood and don't have to worry about bullets flying, right? I want my kids to be able to be in an environment where they don't have to fight every day. Like this was why I was doing what I was doing. I tied it to something. So the minute I felt like slacking, the minute I felt like not doing what I was supposed to be doing, I'm like, whoa, if I don't get this done, then my kids are going to be in the environment that I grew up in. I don't want them in that environment. So in order for them not to be in that environment, I got to put this work in. So, yep, I truly want it. And the reason I want it is this. So I want you to write out, yep, I truly want it. Do you truly want it? Yep. Why? Why do you want it? Why? What is it going to do for you? Who is going to suffer if you don't get it done? And then who's going to benefit once you do get it done, right? You got to be emotionally attached. You got to be mentally, you got to be like spiritually attached to what it is you want to do. The next thing I want you to ask yourself is, what are your top 3 weaknesses? Your top 3 weaknesses. Like what is it that you're just crappy at? You just can't do. You're terrible at. Like you ain't got no business touching it, but you don't want people to know that you're weak there. So you sit there and you pretend to do it, and you're killing your business, you're killing your career, you're killing your life, you're killing your family, because you're trying to pretend like you're a beast in this area, and you're so far from a beast. After that, I want you to ask yourself, what are my top 3 strengths? What are the things that I'm just, like I don't even got to think about doing? Automatically, when I start doing it, I beast this area. I go hard, like I fifth quarter this all day long. Like I attack it and I get it done. Like I want you to ask yourself, what are these areas? And when you identify where you're weak at, when you identify where you're strong at, I want you to understand how this comes together. Because if you know where you're weak, that means when you're in a conversation with somebody, you can identify if your weakness is one of their strengths. And then because you know your strengths, you can say, is one of my strengths their weaknesses? And if one of their weaknesses is my strengths and one of my strengths is their weaknesses, then that means now we can merge. And when we merge, when we become one, it's beneficial to both parties. Both of us can really like grow off of this relationship. But what happens is you're getting in relationships with people and there's no benefit to no one. You're like, oh, they make me laugh. We have a great time. Listen, you grown. This is not time to just have a great time. This is time to elevate your life and get your life to a whole new place. Are you truly ready? Do you truly want what you say you want? If you truly want what you say you want, you're not out wasting time. You're not out hanging out. Every relationship is a beneficial relationship. But the first thing you have to do is you have to identify, where do you add value to someone else? Where do you add value? Because you can't ask for someone to add value to you if you don't add any value. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be currency. Like, is your mindset, can you put your mindset into someone else's situation? Can you help them get unstuck? My strength can help you get unstuck. If I help you get unstuck, I add value. So if you have value, you add it back to me. Why? Because that's the mutual relationship. This will help you to build your competence, which ultimately will build your confidence. And when that happens, I'm telling you, there's nothing at all that you can't do. It all starts with you. You have to dominate yourself. $86,400 seconds, choose them wisely, or someone will waste them for you.